Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. I see you because I'm... Oh, my other hand I caught it with. You... Oh no, everything was going so well. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2025, the album. Or 27, or 28, or 26. The album, Dad AF. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Rock on, gold dust woman. Boost. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so let's get into today's drama video. Before I do, I have one birthday shout out that I want to give. And that is to Taylor, that said that she was too afraid to ask for a birthday shout out until she woke up to Trisha's Ethan Lies, parts 1, 2, and 3 on her actual birthday. Now, I feel just asking you will brighten my day. Well, you have brightened my day as well, Taylor. So happy birthday to you. I hope that you have the most amazing birthday in the entire world. And Taylor also went in there to share a very personal message about being sober. And I just want to say, and saying a little bit that my story had inspired her. And I just want to say, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Here's to your continued sobriety. And now the seed has been planted and you pass that on and share your story with somebody else and inspire them. And that's kind of how recovery works, you know? We just share our stories with each other and hopefully inspire other people so that they can live an amazing life of recovery as well. And thank you, Taylor, for sharing that with me. All right, let's get into today's video. Where's my lip gloss? You ready? When your lips are dry as mine, then it's Luna Beauty time. That was way off mark. Oh God. Should we talk about Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein? Okay, I know that I received some, I know that's what y'all want to hear about. I have received so many messages today of people saying, I think that went down my pants back there. Oh my Lord. Anyway, so many people have reached out to me and said, are you going to report on Trisha Paytas? Are you going to report on Ethan Klein? And blah, 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 whatever, okay? Now, y'all, I know y'all think that we just sit down on camera, we just share our opinions, and it's real easy over here. You know, we just drink coffee all day long and sit on video and share our opinions, and yes, that is basically what we do over here. It's kind of like you're up in the kitchen, okay? We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out in the kitchen, and, you know, you're having a juice box or water or KJ. KJ. People always are like, what is KJ? It's Kendall Jackson, okay? It's whenever my friends and I go out to dinner, not my sober friends, but my other friends, and they're wine drinkers, they're always like, I'll have a glass of KJ. So for all of you KJ drinkers out there, for all you people in sobriety, maybe a water or a Diet Coke or, you know, whatever. Or for you Red Bull drinkers out there, just whatever you want to have to drink, we're going to sit on, we're going to sit on it. We're going to sip on it, and we're going to sit in the kitchen. I'm all over the place today. I've already filmed like 4 videos. And we're going to just sit in the kitchen and we're going to talk, okay? And then at the end, I hope you brought your number 2 pencils for the Scantron test because this is drama class, boys and girls, and there will be a test at the end of this, okay? And there is so much that I hope that you're taking notes as we go. I know I have, not. Anyway, do you guys remember that back in the day from the Blonde Ambition Tour with Madonna? And what was that movie called? Truth or Dare, where she was like, not! Not! Anyway, yeah, I know that you guys think that we just like sit around and just throw our opinions out there, but actually there's much investigation that goes into being a drama channel, okay? Like me watching all 400 videos of this nonsense going down, which at this point I have to tell you, I feel like it is nonsense. And I don't really care if people disagree with me on that or not. I was very, very invested in the Frenemies podcast. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And at this point, I feel like the back and forth that is occurring is at the expense of the audience. I really do feel that way. I feel like much of what is occurring should not be online. Okay, so let's kind of break down what happened. I did a video yesterday talking about Trisha Paytas leading the Frenemies podcast. You guys can go watch that video if you want to. I also did a video yesterday about Shane Dawson announcing his return. And I also talked about Gabby Hanna's her response to Jessie Smiles, or lack thereof. You guys can go watch that video. That I did 2 drama videos yesterday. But since the video, since all of this, my video came out yesterday, Trisha Paytas has posted another video. Ethan Klein came out and posted a video. And today, Trisha Paytas has posted 4 videos. So, and there's been a lot of tweets. There's been a lot of deleted tweets. And it just goes on and on and on and on, okay? And I have to tell you from the get-go, what makes me the saddest about this, when I sat down today and I was like getting ready to watch Trisha's videos, and I had watched Ethan's video last night, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, and I'm not going to get probably into the details of a lot of this, to be honest with you, because I don't know that I think it's about the details at this point. It's like a bigger issue than that, right? But after watching all of this, I'm just like, you know, like when I woke up today and I started watching these videos, I just was like, enough already, okay? Enough already. And for those of you that know, I have been sober for 26 years and 5 months at this point. And you know, one of a recovery sayings is, and I know whenever I talk about this on my Peterisms channel, there's some people that like don't agree with this statement, but the statement is, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right, you know? And I think that it's really important that we talk about our long-term happiness and all of this, you know? And when you look at situations like this, if they were just 2 YouTubers that didn't really know each other and they had come together and they were doing some show once in a while or one collaboration every once in a while, you know, and maybe they're like falling apart, like happened, that would be one thing. But you're talking about Trisha Paytas marrying Moses, who is Hila's brother, and you know, Ethan Klein being part of the family, and this is extended now to family. It's affecting people's mental health issues. It's affecting, I mean, both Trisha and Ethan, I think at this point. God knows it's got to be affecting Moses and Hila. And so, you know, it's like, it's a bigger issue than just 2 YouTubers that were doing a collaborative project together that have had a falling out. It is so much bigger than that. And at that point, to me, it's like, what is your long-term happiness with this, right? Like, what is your long-term goal? Just to prove that you're right in something? Or is your long-term goal to say, you know what, we need to step away from this. Both of them have said this has been blown out of proportion, this has gotten way out of control. Then both of you should be mature enough to say, we're not going to engage in this anymore, okay? And if that means you need to take a week away from each other, or 2 days, or a month, or whatever, until you speak of it, that's when it should happen. So, let me tell you how this all started. I made my video yesterday, and then I sat down and I watched Ethan's video last night. Ethan's video, hold on a second, I got all my screenshots up here. Ethan's video is called Regarding Trisha Quitting Frenemies, okay? And it's something like 44 minutes long. I watched the whole thing. At the beginning of it, Ethan says that he feels like his hands are tied, okay? And that he said that Trisha is putting out a lot of really public things, which Trisha has, and putting out DMs and talking about money issues and talking about all kinds of things, right? So he said that he feels like his hands are tied because A, he wants to respect Trisha's privacy and those kind of issues, but on the other hand, he feels like he needs to come out and talk about these things because there is not a lot of truth to what's going on and he wants to clear it up, right? So I watched the whole video. Ethan remains very, very calm in the video and talks a lot about money things. And I have to say, as I watch this video, I was like, okay, he seems like he's being really fair to Trisha. Like, the money cut seems very, very fair. It seems that Ethan has invested a great deal of money in the Frenemies podcast. Knew that from the very beginning. The one thing I have to tell you, and this is interesting because Trisha brought this up in one of their videos, when I was taking notes in this last night, hold on a second, I will tell you what time my notes were at. Oh, it doesn't say on here anymore. Oh, yes, it does. It says yesterday. I put on here right at the top of it, why no contract on the Frenemies podcast if Trisha chooses to leave. Because one of the things that Ethan brought up in the video was that, you know, they had invested a large amount of money in the merch and that there was a large amount of money in getting an office space and all this kind of stuff. And why would he get like a 3-year lease? He said most commercial space in Los Angeles is a 3-year rental, which that makes sense. And why would he invest a lot of money in all of this if Trisha is just going to leave the podcast, which Trisha had now done 3 times? And I was like, oh, I totally agree with that. But if you guys are in a business deal together and you're talking about sums of money like $30,000, $50,000, all these amounts of money that he's putting out there, talking about how he's going to lose all of his money in the merch, which no, that's not fair. And he keeps on saying through the podcast, this isn't fair and that's not fair and blah, blah, blah. I agree with that, right? But when you're talking about that, why wouldn't you have a contract in place to protect yourself from all of that? I really do not understand that, okay? And it is interesting to me, and having talked to a lot of YouTubers never have contracts in place for business deals that they do. But maybe $30,000 or $50,000 isn't a lot of money, which then I don't know why you would bring up those amount of monies. But if that is a lot of money, then why would you not have a contract in place? In fact, if you had asked me 6 months ago, do you think that Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein have a contract for the frenemies? I would say without a doubt, right? But Trisha said in one of the videos that they had no contract, and that if Ethan had such huge issues with this, why not have a contract, okay? So that is one thing I have to say from a business point of view that I really, really don't understand, all right? Now, I do understand why Ethan got on video and made the video. Trisha had put out tons of tweets, but so had Ethan at that point. Trisha had put out tons of personal DMs, ones that didn't even make her look that great. And so Ethan wanted to get up and defend himself. I understand that, okay? At this point, to be honest, I don't know that I think that either one of them look really great. I think it's like, let's just unload. It very much reminds me of The Breakfast Club when Ali Sheedy, like, I said Sheedy, okay? There's not 25 cents for the cuss jar. When Ali Sheedy takes her purse and dumps it all over the place. It's like, why are you doing this, okay? But, what was interesting to me was all of this that came out about the crew. Ethan went in on his video and kept on talking about, he was really going in on Trisha. And he went on and he talked about the crew, and how Trisha wanted to rehire an entirely new crew and get rid of the frenemies crew and all of this kind of stuff. And that Ethan had told the crew that Trisha wanted to hire an entirely new crew, but then the crew needed a couple days before working with Trisha. Why would you tell the crew that, first of all? Even if it is 100% true, okay? Because now Trisha's saying that it's not true. Ethan's saying that it is true. So you've got all these stories on either side. And I'm watching both of it, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what to think about this at this point, okay? This is such a mess. This is so messy. And the saddest thing to me is that your family is in the middle of this, okay? This is no longer just a YouTuber collab project and whatever, and there were a lot of things that Ethan said in his video that I totally agreed with. There were a lot of things that he said this wasn't fair and that's not fair, and that basically, he was the one that was like doing the show and all that kind of stuff. I just think that it's gone to this unnecessary place, okay? Trisha said in the video that Trisha did that Ethan reached out 3 minutes after Trisha posted their video, and the reason why Trisha didn't respond to Ethan was because Trisha had their phone turned off, okay? But then you turned around and made another video 20 minutes later. So I'm confused about that, because Ethan said that Trisha posted another video 20 minutes later. So I'm very confused about that, the timing of that, right? Do I think that it's a good idea if Trisha turned off their phone? Absolutely. I think Trisha probably needs to turn their phone off for a few days. Because this rampant one video after another, to me, is a lot, okay? Ethan came out, and it's like, at what point, and I'm really trying to be fair with everybody in this, but the thing is that I don't think anybody watching this knows what's true, what's not true. I said in my video yesterday, and I stand by this, that at that moment that Ethan stopped listening to Trisha, that Trisha felt invalidated. And I was really, to be honest with you, really surprised by the amount of responses that said, oh, men just do that. Men don't listen to women. It was really kind of like, to some degree, kind of like excusing Ethan's behavior. Which is interesting, because if you go over and you talk about the SIP, okay, with Lizzie Gordon and Ryland, when Ryland does the exact same things to Lizzie Gordon, people go up in arms. They really, really do. And they're like, Ryland is so disrespectful to Lizzie, on and on and on. I think the difference is the history that Ethan and Trisha have had on the Frenemies podcast, and that at times Trisha has blown up and been explosive and walked off the set and things like that. And so people are like, yeah, this is just Trisha, go back and watch that moment where it happens, okay? You know, go back and watch that exact moment. I've gone back and watched it several times. The problem is at that point, you know, and Trisha put this in one of the videos that they put out at the very end, this like TikTok, something with the way that Trisha sees things is that in that moment, it was like very much black and white. And then all of a sudden after that moment, and this, I'm not excusing this, I'm not saying it's right, since Trisha put it in the video, I'm just saying, this is obviously how Trisha sees things. So in that moment, all right, it was all of a sudden, Ethan is bad, frenemies is bad, nothing is good, blah, 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 whatever. And then Trisha's talking about the money, and Trisha's talking about this, and what's not fair, and whatever. When Trisha tried and said, hey, I just want to stop, can we just stop it now? Can we just end it, you know? And Trisha even said in their videos that they did the best job they could in just stopping and ending it with the tools that they had. I don't know. You know, at that point, I think then Trisha, you know, goes on this Twitter rant of all of these videos and then puts out all these tweets and very personal tweets, you know, and then puts out 2 videos. And I'm like, okay, this is not necessary. This is not. And then Trisha, you know, then Ethan makes a video, which I thought there were a lot of good points in it. I thought there were a lot of good points in Trisha's video too. Then Trisha today puts out Ethan's lies 1, 2, and 3 videos, and watches the podcast back and goes through there. And really the majority of those videos, if you haven't watched them, are about Trisha saying that they never said they wanted to hire all new crew, and calling Ethan names, because they do in the video, and saying that, I mean, pretty horrific names, and saying that they want proof where they ever said that they wanted an all new crew, okay? This is where it's like, to me, honestly, there are so many people that are affected by this now, okay? Ethan is affected by this. Trisha is affected by this. Hila is affected by this. Moses is affected by this. Their extended family is affected by this. Trisha's family is affected by this. Her sister and her mom are affected by this, right? Their friends are affected by this. The crew is massively affected by this. How you would ever even go on with this anymore, I mean, like, I don't even know how, you know? And then it's like, after that, it's like the audience is greatly affected by this, because it's like, who knows what to believe and what's the truth? You know, Ethan's saying that Trisha lied. Trisha's saying that Ethan lied. It's like, you don't really know. And I know that everybody's going to be like, well, Trisha has, you know, lied for years. Well, you know, it's like, you can look at this both ways. I don't really know. And I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm saying in a situation like this, why make 3 videos countering the person that you know could come back out and make another video? I think Trisha knows Ethan's probably not going to make another video. I think Ethan's video is probably like a one and done. Do I think that Ethan and Hila might get in a video and do like an after dark or whatever and talk about what happened? I hope they don't. I don't think, and not that they don't deserve to because of their voice. I just think at this point, it's like, let's take a look at our long-term happiness, right? You know, let's take a look at what's best for us, what's best for our family. You know, let's take a look at what's best for everyone overall, you know? And I don't know, the whole thing just really, really makes me sad. It's like, everybody just put down your phones, stop tweeting, stop making effing videos that everybody has to watch, you know, that basically you're just saying the same things over and over and over again, you know? And I think that it's, like Trisha kept on saying over and over and over again that the reason that they left the show was because they never wanted the crew to feel like they had to walk around them or walk on eggshells around them, and they didn't want to make the crew uncomfortable, and on and on and on. And then Ethan is saying that the crew has huge issues with Trisha. At that point, okay, I don't know why you don't just get out in a 1-minute video and say, hey, like, you know, whatever happened between Ethan and I am really sorry for my part in that, and I take responsibility, and I'm going to take a look at it, and then Ethan and I will sit down and talk about it. You guys don't worry about it. We will work it out. As far as the crew and the crew feeling uncomfortable around me or feeling like I said these things, I don't remember saying these things. I have no recollection of saying those things. If I did in any kind of way that made you feel uncomfortable about it, hey, you know, I'm sorry, and I will do whatever I can to rectify that situation. And going on, I think for all of us involved and the families and everything, it would be best that, yes, I left frenemies. I don't know why it's so hard to do that, you know? I had watched a video of Trisha's not too long ago, and I can't remember who Trisha was talking about, James Charles or Shane or somebody, but they said in the video, because I also referenced that Daniel Paytas said the same thing in a video that I had watched of his, that both of them kind of said they didn't understand why people just couldn't come out, take accountability for their actions, and then just keep it moving, right? Like, I don't understand that. Like, this never had to get to this point. It never had to get to this point, right? Like, had Trisha and Ethan just kept this off, and really, you know, like, let's be honest, it was Trisha that posted the video first. If Trisha had never posted that video, of which I understand why Ethan felt like he needed to respond to it, I do. I totally understand that, right? At what point is he like, okay, everybody's going to believe all this kind of stuff, Trisha's going to put out 4 videos, Trisha's going to put all these tweets out, and I'm not going to defend myself, but he already had the night before on Twitter, and then he deleted all the tweets, and then Trisha deleted all the tweets, and then everybody's looking at this going, what do we believe? What's the truth? What's not the truth? We don't know, you know? Because one person's saying one thing, and one person's saying another thing, and it's like, what are we to believe? Oh, probably the person that we're greater stands of or fans of is who we believe at that point. And the reality is, I don't really know, in all honesty, how much it really matters. I really don't. Because in the long run, it's just this really sad thing, okay? I think that a lot of people were rooting for Trisha. I really do. And, you know, here it is again with the multiple videos and the multiple tweets and the on and on and on. And it's like, you know, and Trisha said in one of their videos that they were really trying to utilize their skills that they had been learning, you know, in therapy. Put down the phone. Don't film any more videos. Don't put out any tweets. If you need to tweet something out, say, hey, listen, I'm taking 3 or 4 days off of Twitter and social media. I'll be posting videos if they feel like they need to post videos that have absolutely nothing to do with this, but otherwise, I'm just putting down my phone. I need to take care of myself. I need to move on, right? And then Ethan just needs to kind of like, they need to like, this conversation needs to stay off of, you know, and he said, and I know he said that in his video that he tried to reach out to her, you know, publicly. I don't know about y'all, but like one of the things I've had to learn like in my own marriage and marriage counseling, and I'm starting to think that maybe these two need to go to some marriage counseling or something, you know? And I know that they had Dr. Drew on there for one session, but like if you're going to continue to do this frenemies podcast, I really do think maybe they need to have somebody that they talk to that gives them skills and tools to use or something. I mean, there's other family members that go to counseling together. It wouldn't just be them, you know? But like one of the things is, you know, like I've learned from my husband is if we get into an argument like right here and then like 5 minutes or an hour later, like I'm still like, hey, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? He's like, hey, I need some space, right? So when we get in arguments, which today we rarely do because we've been to marriage counseling, we use the tools and we listen to each other. But in those moments where we do get into an argument, like I have learned, maybe it's okay for me to go get a fountain pop with my best friend Tanya and then come back like 2 hours later. And at that point, he's usually really ready to talk, you know? And I'll say to him like, hey babe, like I'm really sorry for what happened. I shouldn't have said these things. I'll work on it. I won't say that in the future. And he'll say, hey, me too. Like I said some things I shouldn't have said and whatever, right? But in that moment, he's not ready to hear that. And I think sometimes when we work that closely or we're that close with people, we have to kind of understand how they work. And I know that a lot of people said, you know, yesterday that everybody walks on eggshells around Trisha and you shouldn't have to do that and blah, 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 whatever. But you know, at the end of the day, don't we all, like, whether somebody has mental health issues or whether they're just like, I'm a fast talker, you know, or, you know, don't we, like, people have personality things. I mean, don't we all kind of, I think, not walk on eggshells, but don't we all work with what that person has to give? Don't we all try to kind of, like, maneuver around our issues and their issues and things? I feel like I do. You know, I feel like I do with the people in my life. And that's okay, you know? It's like, I don't know. It's just like at that point, I feel like I understand. Well, I'm confused about the phone call thing because then Trisha put out the next video. But I understand that he tried to reach out to Trisha. But 3 minutes after, did you reach out an hour after? You know, that would have been a point that Trisha should have maybe reached out to Ethan and said, because I think it's Trisha's responsibility as well. And that is the part of Ethan saying that I really got, where Ethan was like, how much am I supposed to do? Like, really, like, what more am I supposed to do? I think the thing is, we only see what happens in that hour on frenemies, you know? I do believe Trisha tried really hard not to walk off the podcast. I really, really do. knew. And I do think that Trisha knew that if they walked off the podcast, the title of the podcast would be Trisha Paytas leaves frenemies. Like, I think they knew that, and they're like, I'm not walking off this podcast. Like, you're not going to make me walk off this podcast because I know what you're going to do. They even said that with the title, right? And I think that's where then the discussion of the clickbait titles came up. And it was just like, I don't know, like, I have really, really worked on my craft the last couple years, and I have really worked hard on how I speak to people and what I say, and part of that is really like stopping and not reacting, but listening and then responding, and really not having this kind of reaction, and that's what I saw a lot of what was going on with Trisha in the podcast, and I think that that's the point where you just are like, stop, okay, no more. And stop, no tweets, stop, no videos, and just wait, right? When it's something that's like as serious as this. And I don't know, like the whole thing just really, really makes me sad. I mean, how many more videos are there gonna be? And there was something going on today too. Does anybody know about this? Like, Trisha's videos kept on coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Where are they at? Hold on a second. They kept on coming up and coming down and whatever. It was like 1 second I'd be watching it and then it would say this video has been like taken down by the person or whatever. I don't know. Trisha put out 2 tweets today. I looked. Ethan has not put out any tweets today. Trisha said the main issue from Ethan to me in private DMs that night and in his last video is the crew felt disrespected. It's the last thing I want people to feel from me, so I removed myself from the show. I never wanted them fired. I really respected them and wanted to add. I praised both Ian and Sam in the episode. I've done that in the past. To take me not liking a segment or suggesting we add people and say to them, Trish wants you all fired, is manipulative. He also lied to me and said it was Sam's idea, and Ian's upset with me when Dan said it wasn't. So I don't know. Where are the videos sitting at? I haven't even looked to see. The latest video this needs to be said is basically just, over and over and over again. Like, I'm sorry to the crew. I didn't want this to happen to the crew, blah, 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 whatever. Let's see. The first part of Ethan's videos, Ethan Lies, is currently sitting at 783,000 views, 10,000 likes, and 29,000 dislikes. And let's see where Ethan's video is at. Oh, I just had it. Hold on a second.
That's just the way.
Okay, it's sitting at 2.3 million views, 198,000 likes, and 4.7 dislikes. The thing is, and I said this in my video yesterday, and like I was really rooting for Trisha. I really was. This is such a pattern, and it's like, at what point do you see that this is a pattern that happens over and over and over again with just all kinds of people, right? Not just Ethan, but all kinds of people, and it's, okay, I understand what happened on the podcast, and I understand how Trisha felt in that moment. Well, I don't know that I understand that, but I could see how Trisha felt in that moment. But after that, that's where it's like, okay, if somebody says something to me and they say something harsh, like, okay, and I'm not saying that Ethan did in that moment. I'm just saying, to me, when I was watching it, it seemed like Ethan wasn't paying attention to what Trisha was saying, and that it felt like Ethan was invalidating Trisha. That's how I felt when I watched it, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I got from my opinion of watching it, right? But after that, anything that happens, that's on Trisha. That's on Trisha. And then for Ethan to come out and feel like he needs to defend himself on video, I understand. But now it's gotten to this point where Trisha is like, Ethan's saying things about, Trisha calling Hila names in the past, which, hey, I thought we were way past that, okay? And then Trisha getting in videos and saying people don't like Ethan as well, and bringing up the reasons why people don't like Ethan. And it's like, we are now going for the jugular in a way that is so ugly and nasty that I don't personally really understand, and I don't like to have that. And I'll tell you something else, Ethan said that he really needed to get his truth out there, and Trisha said in the videos that they did as well that they really needed to have the truth out there and that Ethan was lying about them. There's been a lot of things said about me, okay, publicly, that have no bearing in truth whatsoever, that I could absolutely 100% get in a video and show proof that there is no truth to that whatsoever, and I find no reason why I need to prove that to anybody, okay? And I think there becomes a point when you really know who you are, and you're like, I don't need to defend myself to this. I don't need to prove myself to people that don't know me at all anyway. That these things that have no bearing in truth whatsoever, like, At what point do you stop doing that? At what point do you realize those people that know me know the truth, and those people that don't, and I don't need to constantly prove myself. And this is where I think, like, it's too much living on social media. It's too much living on YouTube. It's too much of this. It's too much. Just stop. You know, it makes me sad. It makes me really sad. And most importantly, it makes me sad because now the audience is who is greatly affected by this, because the audience is fighting. The audience is going to the crew members' girlfriends. The audience is coming for this. The audience is coming for that. And it all makes me so sad because the audience at the end of the day is the one that is the most greatly affected by this. Anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.